Hey folks, this is really going to be a hard video for me to do. If you're a friend of the channel on Facebook, my social media, you already know the news, but a very good friend of mine, a very good friend of ours, Frankie Clark, the lead guitarist for Frankie and the Actions, has passed away. He was a really good friend. It took me, not only me, but everyone else, by surprise, because he had some rather nasty health issues a couple months back, and he pulled through it. And he said in a post that he was immortal, and damn it, if anything that came into his path, he bowled through it. And to hear this happen is just getting hit with a truck. I've known Frankie since I think when I was in high school, because he was a friend of my brother, and he had, what was it? It was Stripped to the Bone that was out at the time, and I listened to it and I really liked it. And I met him maybe like 2 or 3 times after that, because I worked at the same gas station that my brother did, and he would stop by there from time to time. Fast forward to 2000, and they needed a roadie, and I offered my services and started working for them. And outside of towing, being a roadie is probably the longest thing I've ever done. And I honestly wouldn't trade anything. If you told me I could go back and do things all over, I would still do it. There are many things that happened over those, was it 15 years that I was with the band? One of my close friends, Billy, I knew him way back and lost track of him. And then we get a guy named Billy joining the road crew, and it didn't dawn on me until I was driving down the road and just click, holy shit, that was Billy from back at Exxon. Damn. and I'm probably going to end up rambling through this, and I'm going to apologize in advance. Frankie was an amazing man, and between him and Jeff got me into playing guitar, and learning everything. And Frankie was a brilliant man. To sit there and talk to him and just listen to some of the things that he said is like, he had a brain. He was a professor in college. He was an English teacher, a musician, songwriter, husband, father. He was a great man, and it's just painful as hell to have to lose him. There was one night that the person that did their photography, shot the pictures with Frankie's camera, didn't show up. So Frankie asked me, hey, if I give you my camera, can you take pictures? Yeah, sure. Never used a digital camera before, but this is going to be fun. And he said, he told me, it's like, this is what you do. You hit this button. Here's okay, cool. Simple camera work. All right. And he said, don't worry if you take a bad shot, we can just delete it. Awesome. So I don't have to worry about screwing something up. And I shot the pictures that night, and the next week he comes back and he said, you have an incredible gift for photography. And he since then he pushed me to try to get better and do things. And that night he said that from now on, you're taking my pictures. You got a gift. And I was telling Joan yesterday, when this video was shot, when we were talking about the pictures, I would take, it's funny, it's like, if I was dead sober, a lot of them were all shaky. If I had a couple beers in me, dead steady. I don't know what it was, but I started using his camera, and I had a 35mm camera. And if that tells you how long ago this was. And then I bought a rather remedial digital camera, and then progressively upgraded from there. And I kept pushing my craft. And I mean, if you've been on my Facebook page, you've seen some of the photos I've taken since I've been down here in Florida. And all of that was because of Frankie. My brother, out of all of it, well, out of all of us in the road crew, I should say, my brother, as far as I think knows him the longest, I think he's known him since 90, 91, probably earlier than that. Mike, lead singer, known him since, I think maybe the Maryland Marauders. I might get a couple of things mixed up, but he's known him since forever. Jeff, Robert, Mike, Spritel, everybody, the places we've played, Abe Hangers, Memories, the Purple Moose Saloon, Calypso Bay, or some of the bigger places we played. There were some places we played for the bar staff. There was one night at, California Inn. Frankie had this mocked up guitar. Looked like a regular PRS, everything like that. And we were starting to play and he's strumming on it, nothing happening, strumming on it, nothing happened. Takes it off, pissed off, and slams it onto the stage. Everybody was just like, what the fuck did he just do? It was a practical joke, and it was funny as hell. There was one night we were playing at Jack's, and there was a couple of bands that were on before us. We were opening for Kicks, but there was the band that was right before us. The lead singer, pasty white face, I think it was makeup. We had to have been busting this guy's morale because he was singing with like this death metal, rah, 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 rah. And then he walks over after the song. He walks over to the drummer, goes to the microphone, and I think I've said to somebody it was a high school band because they were kids. He goes, "Can we get more drums in the monitor?" And then follows it right back up with our next song. And we're off to the side just laughing our fucking asses off. And I'm pretty sure that had to have messed his morale up. But he said that he wanted a mosh pit on the dance floor and he wanted to see everybody get bruised, broken, and bloodied and stuff like that. And I looked at Frankie and I said, "Can I join the mosh pit?" And he goes, "No, because what it's going to be is you standing in the middle of the dance floor and everybody standing around you in a circle, afraid to move." And Frankie always joked about me being this indomitable brute. We were in Ocean City and we were walking past an arcade, and Frankie just out of nowhere said, it was one of the Dance Dance Revolution games, and Frankie just said, "Danny doesn't like those." And he's had this really, "Oh, don't like dance game, throw it in ocean, pick it up, throw it." It was just like for the whole summer, every time we walked past there, Frankie would just start off with that. And then the ongoing Jimmy Page joke. Jimmy Page don't need no sound check. And it's just in the ongoing debates that you would hear Frankie and Mike go on at the Moose or what. And it's just all of that's not there anymore. And I will truly, truly miss. He loved his cars. He had a Fox body Mustang that he was, doing, an Eleanor tribute from, Gone in 60 Seconds. He had a Torino Super Cobra jet. That was beautiful. The old busted Ford Bronco, which before I started with the band, I heard this story that they were driving to Ocean City and the starter was just it was hanging off of the cable, but it was banging on the road as they were driving down. They had to stop I think it was at a Walmart, or they stopped somewhere. And my brother, who was a mechanic, still is a mechanic, had to crawl up underneath there and reattach it. And there still is an ongoing joke. One weekend in Ocean City, I made the mistake of trying to keep up with my brother, drinking. and failed miserably. And I'm pretty sure I'll either get someone down in the comments who knows that one, how that one went. Never lived that down. And I think that was probably 12, 13 years ago now. I'm still hearing it. The many times we have all gotten just, as we called, Ocean City drunk and just had a good time. There was one time at Calypso Bay, Joan got us all kinds of twisted. There is a picture, and I'll try to throw it up right here, where I don't know who took the picture, but Frankie and I, we were just leaning on each other, and just there was one, not just one, but a couple of weekends where my parents came to the shows, and one time it was Ocean City. My mom, who had passed away 6 years ago, my brother used to play guitar with the band when they did Fight for Your Right to Party. And I was standing on the floor, doing my thing. And my mom walked behind me, and I just saw, because she wanted to get a better look at my brother playing. And I just saw somebody walking in the corner of my peripheral, and I moved in to block them. Then looked over and noticed it was my mom. But, that night, Mike said that, that we had special guests here, and they said our two of our road crew, Tommy and Danny, their parents are here, and thank you for coming. And Frankie said, thank you for fucking. I don't know. It's funny now. I don't know. My parents came to a couple of the other shows, and it was, after my mom passed away, one of my last shows, I was given the honor of getting up on stage and playing bass for, the song from Lit, My Own Worst Enemy. And that night I wore the bandana that my mom wore when she had cancer. And it was kind of like, my mom first got to see the band and my brother play in Ocean City. And one of the last times I'll be in Ocean City, obviously my mom wasn't there, but in spirit she was. She got to see me play. And Frankie even pointed that out that night. And that was really, really special for me. If there was always something smart to say or something funny, it would usually be coming from him, something off the wall. And again, that's gone. And another impact that he had on me was, if you've watched any of my videos, I always close my video with, if it's too loud, you're too old. And that was something that Frankie always said. And that's something I will always, I'll never change that now because of Frankie. There was, like, when we went to Ocean City, all of us brought movies. One staple was always Spinal Tap. And there's this one scene where Nigel is talking about his amp head, and he's pointing at the dials that they don't go to 10, they go to 11. It's one louder. So Frankie had a custom amp done by, I think it was VVT, and he had his amps, all of his dials go to 12. So he was, in essence, one louder than Nigel. And out of, we, for the most part, we enjoyed all the shows. But when we got to Ocean City, we just had that much more fun there because all of us hung out, all of us were drinking, we were watching movies. There was one night because someone was talking about it, and I found it. It was called Pan's Labyrinth. It was supposed to be a good movie. Everyone said it was. So, okay, cool. Well, I'll bring it. We started watching it. And it's all in Portuguese. I believe it's Portuguese, and it had English subtitles. And about 15 minutes into this movie, Frankie looked at all of us and goes, who the fuck brought this movie? I'm not here to read stuff. I'm here to watch a movie. And then we'd always watch, what was it? Another staple was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I remember him saying when he was an English teacher that he would get, when he got to Shakespeare, he would give you extra credit if you did it in an English accent. And I was like, well, hell, I wish you were in my school, because I probably would have been a lot better. There was another time, and if anybody else saw it, they'd think it was probably the stupid, what the fuck. I had this Uber-sized rubber band. It had to have been about maybe 2-3 feet in circumference. Not circumference, radius. And I just pulled it out of my bag, and it just opened down, and Frankie just started laughing his ass off. I don't know what he thought it was funny, and just I kept it in my bag just for that purpose. Because, Frankie, look, and he'd laugh. And I was about 2-3 weeks ago, I pulled out my gig bag, and I saw the rubber band, and I pulled it out because I was going to take a picture of me holding it and send it to Frankie so he'd get a laugh out of it. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. And I'm already getting misty as it is. Before I go straight out Niagara Falls, I'm pretty sure I speak for a lot of people. Mike, Jeff, Randy, Billy, Spritel, Mike, Robert, Howard, Joan, Christine, Linda, Jeff Avery, and everybody that Frankie has touched in their life. Thank you. It's been can't talk. It's been a privilege knowing you. It's been a privilege and an honor. And I will close this as I've closed all of my videos. And Frankie, I hope to God that you're hearing me when I say this. If it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.